Hi everybody! Oh my god, this is exciting. This is my first video ever. I've been thinking about doing this for so long, but it's scary still, although everything is social media nowadays. Anyways, this is just gonna be a very short video on just me expressing how things are going. So yeah, first of all, welcome to Acing Adversity with Stella, and I'm so excited you're here. Maybe you will gain some wisdom or whatever you're looking for. Yeah, so I woke up after I had a binge last night, and that's a fucking terrible feeling. I've been trying for so many years now to help myself in my self-development journey, to just kind of figure out what it's all about with me and the food. And I've gone through so many ups and downs, so many losses of weight, gains of weight, and just to go every time there's a cycle deeper and deeper into it's really not about the food, although it is about the food. And yeah, I'm feeling just a little bit, I felt so embarrassed and ashamed that although I'm trying so hard, I'm still falling back into old patterns that I thought I had long left behind. Yeah, so I guess this is a way of me trying to express what's going on and to hopefully get through it. I don't like the word getting over it, because essentially that's another way of bypassing and avoiding. And so anyways, big difference. If anybody knows even what binging is, you're just eating a bunch of food you probably you shouldn't, and it's essentially a coping mechanism for any emotions that you really don't want to feel at that moment. And so I think at the core of our binging is actually more of an emotion dysregulation, which is shown in the eating disorder literature a lot. So yeah, but there's still this gap between all the things we know and we read to, hey, how do I actually get out of it? How do I actually apply all this knowledge to my life? How do I really get through this when I'm affected? And there's sometimes I feel like there's this like dual personality with me, where on one side I'm like the healthy, very conscious being, and on the other side there's all this darkness and things that I'm not so happy with, and that can get out of hand. And really for me at the moment in my journey, it's a way of trying to integrate these parts. And now what is at the core of the integration of these parts is what I've done always is like my really higher self, let's say, beat up that part and say, well, this, oh man, this was so stupid, we shouldn't have done that, like shame, guilt, all that kind of shit. And when has that ever worked? Because all you're doing, like I'm showing right now, is really like pushing it down, and then it will surface again. So that I've experienced over and over again. So now on my journey, I'm trying to integrate, which means how do we integrate? How do I integrate the parts of me that I really, really do not like? And if you're anything into the self-development stuff at all, you'll know that the core of this really lies compassion and love and encouragement. And so and acceptance. So essentially, I'm trying to be on the self-love journey, and it is freaking hard. It is so hard for me to really show up in terms of self-love, because this pushing energy of, oh, you don't it's not good enough, you shouldn't be doing that, let's look away, is so strong, because that's how I grew up most of the time. Those are my experiences. And so actively trying to engage in self-love practice is tough. Not tough for people who've grown up with loving families, with where they have been modeled self-love or self-care. That's very natural for people that have grown up and seen this and know what it looks like, but absolutely unnatural for people who've experienced the opposite in their lives, and especially in those early life years where we are so vulnerable and easily shaped into in our thoughts and behaviors. So it takes a lot of work to undo this stuff, and as part of my journey, I want to try and be more transparent and vulnerable about what I'm going through, so I can share, and hopefully that will help me integrate, because a big part of this is that you don't feel like you should be talking about it, and you should be you know, that nobody will understand it, and probably a lot of people won't, but I know there are some people that will. And I think it's about those people where we, you know, how much healing do you actually experience when somebody says, yeah, I know this experience, and I've had this too. Yeah, so there's so many layers to this, and all I wanted to say with today is, yeah, last night I had this this package of O. Henry's, I think. I don't even buy stuff like that usually. The only reason I have this at home is because I'm planning forever to send a package to my friend in Germany with treats from Canada. And when my eating disorder self comes out, because I'm not feeling well, I'm in a mental state where I feel I can't resist a lot of urges, and usually that's in the evening time, I'll open that thing and I eat stuff from it. So every time I have to refill it, and and I still haven't sent it. And that part comes from my ADHD that I'm also struggling with. Struggling with, actually not too much anymore. I'm actually really learning to accept that part of myself. But the ADHD part is just like, I can't fucking send the thing. So so stupid. So you see how this intersectionality of having different experience and adversities and visible disabilities, etc., actually they like tie into one another, affect one another. My ADHD doesn't let me send this package, which was a very good intention, but having this food around with my eating disorder is really not a good move when I'm not feeling at my strongest in terms of my emotional world. And so at the same time, what is not happening at the moment is that I have not yet integrate alternative behaviors, because if you want to try and if you really want to change a behavior, not only have you become aware of it, witness it, treat it with love, but you also have to establish alternative ways of coping with the same underlying issue. Now that's much harder, especially when you have ADHD, and you're trying to establish new behaviors. It takes so much time. It takes a lot of time anyways. It takes a lot of time when you're an adult. And then on top of that, if you have executive functioning issues, which is exactly what you're trying to do, like planning, organizing, in the beginning of establishing a behavior, we need to like plan it out, we need to consciously engage in it. And that's very, very hard for people with ADHD because it takes a lot of effort, cognitive effort, which we only have that much capacity of cognitive effort. I mean, every human has, but the one for ADHD is very sensitive, and so wasting that energy on that often just leads to not wanting to do things in the first place. And so it's very hard to establish a behavior. So what helps me actually? Meditation, journaling. I haven't done that for a long time. Breath work. Oh my God, breath work. I believe that breath work is going to be my future for really integrating everything and all my experiences and becoming whole again, because it really gets to a level of consciousness and to a level of healing that you cannot get with your mind. Like, your mind is, don't try to, my mind's messed in terms of the eating disorder and my self-perception, and so I'm not going to use that tool to heal myself. I need to use different tools, and especially for people with eating disorders, that tool is the body. And you can see how that's really, really hard. Also, I'm sorry about the rings and stuff. I haven't figured out how to do this yet, so bear with me. It's really tough because you don't want to be in your body, but you have to be in your body, face the sensations in order to integrate them and heal. So yeah, so of course when you're challenging yourself with taking care of yourself, which is taking care of my body, showering, putting makeup on, even exercising, big other deal, because I either over exercise or under exercise. And yeah, so it's all like a gradual process of coming back to the middle, which is a really good song actually, that's called Back to the Middle. It just reminds me of it. So doing that integration is really tough in terms of witnessing your own difficulties and defects, in a sense. And I'm saying defects because, I don't know, it's supposed to be a very objective term here. So I don't think I'm defected. I think I'm human. And I have had life experiences that shaped me in early life, and I'm still having to carry the consequences of those. And because of a lot of complex states I'm experiencing, it becomes really hard for my highest expression of myself to support myself. So the healthy part of me needs to grow bigger and stronger to really carry the rest and resolve it and care for it. So all that being said, I was eating those things last night. I was feeling upset. I don't know if I even felt upset. I felt very avoidant. I have this avoidance thing, like very contracting. Like if I get overwhelmed, like I'm more the avoidant, anxious. Like I want to go back and not deal with stuff. And but the thing is, it's gonna come up anyways. And I think that's really my lesson here, in this lifetime, to face the things that are feeling overwhelming, and to build myself strong enough that I can take it. And I think that's the other part when you are, especially people with ADHD, anxiety, etc., you're very sensitive. So the threshold for feeling overwhelmed is much lower than a threshold for a person who's not as sensitive, right? But it also means when you're so sensitive that you're actually able to really beautifully feel life in a way nobody else can feel unless they're as sensitive as you are. But it's such a fine balance, and having such heavy experiences makes it really, really tough not to go down the drain, be quite honest with you. Yeah, so if anybody wants me to talk about other experiences, like when I felt really at my lowest, I'm happy to share if that helps anybody. But yeah, so right now, what's the situation? I'm supposed to be at work right now. I'll do my own schedule, but I wanted to go today, but because of last night's episode, I woke up late, so it tears into the day. I woke up late. I didn't feel good. Luckily, my roommate was feeling very energized because she had a really good date last night. And so that gave me a little bit of like, oh, yay, energy. And then I got up and I was like, okay, you know what? Every day is a new day, even if it sucks and you want to wallow in this feeling. It doesn't matter because it doesn't change. So what is the next best step to do? And so I made myself my kale smoothie, kale shake. Actually, it's just water and kale and electrolytes and lemon juice. Really good. Doesn't taste bad at all if you have the right powder. And then made myself a smoothie bowl because I bought this acai powder. And yeah, so I had myself a really healthy, nutritious breakfast. Not that that makes up for anything I did last night, but as a way to show up for myself today. Because the one thing I don't want to do is to let that fade into the next day, or fade as much, even if it would fade in, or like would flow into the next day. Every moment I can recommit. And if the true way of healing myself is to be compassionate when I'm at my worst, then that's how I have to treat myself. So if I'm waking up badly, then I'm trying not to avoid, oh, I didn't look at that I binged last night. I want to admit it. Also, reason why I'm doing this video. This is a practice to heal for me. To share what happened, because if I keep things in, and that's no good, but I also don't feel like I have the safe outlet of friends that would understand and be able, understand, yes, but not be able to support me in the way I'd need it. I've noticed that over the years that, if you haven't really experienced something, it's really hard to support somebody who did experience the situation. I mean, yes, you absolutely can support people, and sometimes it's so good to hear from others how they see you and that they believe in you. I'm getting real emotional now. But in essence, when you have an eating disorder, usually your mind is really cunning. It's very smart. And that can be used in a good way or in a negative way. So if I'm not at my good essence, then I would use what people say to me that don't understand truly as an excuse maybe, or like form it in some way so it still satisfies or justifies my behavior maybe, or not justifies it. I actually don't do that. I'm more like the self-deprecating person. So like I would probably use it to avoid, in a way, right? Somebody's like, oh, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, you're really look at all the great things you are doing. And that's so true. But if somebody else says that to me sometimes, not all the time, sometimes I need to hear this. But then it goes, you're right. I shouldn't be so hard on myself, and you know, I'll just move on. And I use it as like not looking at the problem and like just kind of go. And that I don't want to do that so anymore. So here I am sharing what happened. And so yeah, I woke up this morning and I had some good breakfast, and now I'm sitting here. I'm still debating what I should do, because now that the day is so late, and it's hard. I don't know. Should I go do more self-care, or is that a way of me avoiding my work? Is it yeah, what do I really need right now? So I'm not really sure, but I think I need to meditate on that, so I will take that time. It's not the end of the world not going to work today, because I can make up for it, because I make my own schedule, so I can just do that the day after. So it's really a dance between, oh, am I pushing stuff away to avoid them, or am I making room for my healing? Now, if I'm not engaging in any self-care practices today and still stay home, then I really dug myself into a hole, which I've done so many times. So I hope that actually me sharing this will help me not do that. Yeah, because it's a beautiful day out, and I would love to use Don't Let It Go to Waste, just because last night I made bad choices. And yeah, so the past is the past, and the future I don't know. And so all I have is at the moment right now, and I will figure out what to do next. I hope that I said something useful. I don't know. First YouTube video ever. We're just gonna start with that and then see where it goes. I have a lot of things I wanna share, and yeah, hopefully we'll do my podcast soon. And yeah, so let me know if you have any questions. I don't know. Maybe you don't. Comments, please be kind. Honest and kindness together are fucking bomb. I think that's where real growth happens. So be honest, but be kind. They're not mutually exclusive. And yeah, all right. Maybe I'll see you again. Bye.